I asked one of my spirit guides, specifically, I asked Mother Mary, what do you want me to paint and what do you want me to share on today's live? And I was doing this in meditation where I'd meditated and I was asking at the end of it. And what floated across my mind were the words, your healing matters. And then the next download that came in was, avoidance stops your spiritual growth. Now, if you're wondering, what do avoidance and healing have to do in the same sentence or in the same topic of what we're going to share? I had the same thought, like what is this doing together? And what came to me from Mother Mary was, everything that you avoid is the very thing you need to heal. And I went, ah. So she's going to share with you, through me, her higher guidance on this topic of avoidance and healing, so that you can overcome this habit of avoidance and have the spiritual growth that you would like to have so that you can flourish. She also guided me to paint my spirit guide portals, the healing hands. I started it the other couple days ago, and she'd said, oh, I want you to paint some of that on this time together, because she wants you to be blessed with the healing energy that's being infused into these healing hands, and that they were infusing me with when I saw them in my vision in meditation, because they were just shining this healing energy on me when I had the vision. So that's what we're going to be painting on today, after we share a little bit about the higher guidance. Well, first we got to invite in Mother Mary and the healing hands and energy. But hi, I'm Deepa, and I call myself the Creative Mystic because I combine creativity with spiritual practices, because I have found that they are the very thing that develop your spiritual gifts, help you get you in that connection with your higher power, higher self, so that you can actually have the growth that you desire, trust your intuition, and move forward on why you came here on the planet, which for most people is fulfilling that purpose, all right? So let's invite in Mother Mary and the healing guides. Now you're going to notice I have different Mother Marys all around. I put Our Lady of Guadalupe over here. You can see Mother of Forgiveness here. There's Holy Mary, Mother of Love, Holy Mary, Mother of the Universe, all different versions of Mother Mary. So you get to choose what version meets your desires, okay? Now, maybe Mother Mary, that word or that name doesn't resonate with you, but it could be a different form of Divine Mother, okay? So you get to choose on that. But we're going to invite in that energy. If you haven't been here before, you'll know that I always ring the bell, because it's a tradition in India to ring the bell and invite in God by saying, hello, God. Now, we're going to say hello to Mother Mary and hello to the healing hands, to bring in that energy into this sacred space. And it's not just the physical space, it's also the sacred space within yourself, because that's the most important sacred space. When you are awakened in your sacred self within you, you can go into any physical space and be able to handle it, no matter how negative the energy is or how positive or how not it is, okay? So you can deal with what is, all right? So let's get going and just take that moment to take that deep belly breath, so that you can just start to connect with yourself, and then we're going to help you connect with Spirit, with the Spirit Guide of Mother Mary and the Spirit Guide of the healing hands. Because Spirit Guides are not just in the forms of people, they come in many forms, sometimes animals, sometimes the very thing you can't even imagine would be here to help you. All right? So as I ring this bell, I want you to say hello. Now, of course, I forgot to mention, if you have a bell at your home or wherever you are, please ring it. But if you don't, just feel the vibration through this camera, okay? Because there really is no separation, even though it seems like there is, all right? So feel the energy. Imagine, if you can't feel it, that this ringing of the bell is Mother Mary's higher consciousness and the healing hands, healing energy, beginning to heal and shift the energy and consciousness in your body, mind, and soul. All right? So let's take that deep breath, belly breath again. And exhale. And do it one more time. Well, as you breathe in, you bring in the energy of focus. And the exhale, let go of any distractions, any business of the day. Mother Mary is already guiding me to have you, to tell you, like, just with that breath, notice how powerful you are, and the fact that you can be more present with your energy, with yourself. Okay? Now say hello, Mother Mary. Hello, the healing hands. We invoke thy presence into this sacred space, the sacred physical space, and our sacred inner space, awakening our awareness to the consciousness of oneness, oneness with Mother Mary, oneness with the healing hands, so that you're receptive to the guidance, receptive to the blessings, because it is not just the higher spirit, God, that makes a difference. It is your willingness to be receptive, your willingness to accept, your willingness to welcome change, your willingness to accept something new and different, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And they're asking me to share with you, as I ring this bell, that you invite in the energy of moving from your subconscious mind, which is your fears, your worries, your anxiety, any other kind of downward point energy, and you let this sacred space and this message from Mother Mary to lift you up, to come to your superconscious mind, which is the seat of your true self. And she's having me continuing to ring the bell, because she's saying this bell, remember to feel it vibrating in every fiber of your being, because on the bell, she's sending the blessings of receptivity to her message about avoidance and that your healing matters. And as the bell just fades away, to say thank you. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my awakened consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And she's having me light the ghee lamp. So we light this lamp to bring in the energy of transformation, because fire, it is one of the most transformative things that are out there, okay? And as this ghee lamp burns, we're going to bring in the energies of Mother Mary, of the healing hands, and often I bring it to the canvas, but today she's wanting me to bring it to you, to see the flame and know that that flame is transformative. And that even when you cannot see something, that the flame of transformation already, or always, she's saying, exists. All right? So just invite this in. And we're going to just say 3 ohms to start things off. If you'd like to do it with us together, I'm going to be sending this energy of Om to you to help you be receptive to this guidance and the healing energy of the healing hands. Om. 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 And just let that soak in and bathe into it. Hi, Lil. I'm glad you're here. Thank you to everyone who is here or is here. We're going to kind of go into the message because Mother Mary was really clear with me about this, your healing matters. And a lot of times people think of healing just on the physical, right? You break a leg, you cut your arm, and you feel like you have to heal. But she's saying the most important healing that needs to happen is the healing of your emotional state, your emotional wounds, where you kind of reside at most of the time emotionally. And she's not saying you don't want to feel bad about where you reside mostly emotionally. But she's saying that anytime that you're anything other than joy or unconditional love, okay, it means that you're now at that moment not feeling fully awake in oneness with Spirit, with God. And so what we're looking to do when we're in this human condition in the body is heal those belief systems, those emotional wounds, because the emotional wounds that you get are the most pervasive beliefs that hold you back, that keep you from feeling awake, that keep you from feeling connected, that keep you from going for your dreams, going for what you truly want. So those are the things that hold you back. So she's asking you to be open to, and that's why she had me have you like ring the bell and allow this to penetrate and to actually start to move their energies in and the other things out, okay? The lower consciousness things like anxiety, fear, worry, those are the big ones, okay? Anger can be that too, because she's saying that a lot of times people get angry to hide when they have maybe worry about something or feel fearful about something. It's a mechanism to disguise what's really going on within yourself. And so she's saying that the first thing you need to do is to look at what you've been avoiding, okay? And so she says, we avoid, and she's saying human beings, avoid the things that make them uncomfortable, that they're afraid of, and that they don't want to feel. Okay, so if somebody doesn't like feeling sad or feeling incompetent or that they're not capable, all of those things, if you avoid doing them because you don't want to feel that way, are the very things that you need to heal. So she's talking about anything you avoid, whether it's I'm avoiding a conversation with someone because I don't like confrontation, or I'm avoiding having to make a call about a job because you don't want to hear no, or if you avoid topics that make you uncomfortable because you don't have an answer, or you don't feel capable. So if you have your own business and you keep avoiding doing like marketing, well, you'll struggle, right? And that's actually something you need to address, because you have to look at what's underneath the very thing you're avoiding. What is the emotion or the feeling it's giving you of why you're avoiding? Does that make sense? And I'd love it if anybody has a question. I need a drink of water. I'm going to cough here in a minute. She has more to say, but she wants to know, like, does that make sense to you all about what she's saying about the things that you avoid? Now, she's saying also, she's coming through, I'm drinking this, there are things that you might not think you're avoiding, but you are. So she's giving me the example of you may be doing something like playing video games all day long, or watching TV at an excessive amount because you don't want to feel the emotions that you're having. So she's giving the example, and she wants me to use myself. Excuse me. My mother has been on an up and down roller coaster ride of 1 minute she's dying, 1 minute she's not. And it's been, very emotional for me. I have been having this slow grief over the last couple of years because it's been going on for 2 years where up and down. The reason why I laugh a little bit is because she's on the up cycle now and she's looking much better. But I actually don't know how long that's going to be, okay? But when it was on, she might die in the next couple weeks, I would catch myself watching more TV or playing this little word game over and over and over because I didn't want to feel what I was feeling. And then I realized, like, I need to stop doing that. I need to have the feelings I need to have with the grief about my mom. And then I'll be able to handle it more and not feel so much on a roller coaster when these things are happening with her. And so that's helped me when I started to address and take the time to have the grief that I was having, that I couldn't talk to her the way I used to or connect with her. Even though she's physically alive, I'm not able to connect with her. So they're asking me to ask you, what have you been maybe doing to avoid what you're feeling? And then actually sit with what you're feeling so that you can start to go, oh, what do I need to grow in spiritually? Where do I need to get support? What do I need to do to help myself? So, oh, well, you had the same with your mom. Yeah, I know it can be rough. And I'm not sure how to say your name, Laria. Thank you for saying hi. I'm not sure how to say your name, and I'm probably butchering it. But thank you. I love it when people reach out. I love when people put in questions or have comments or shares. It just all helps me with channeling the spirit guide that I'm channeling to help give you the higher guidance. So they're asking you, anybody who's seen this, either right now, if you're seeing this live, to ask yourself, am I avoiding something? And just acknowledge it. They're not asking you to do a whole lot other than right now just acknowledge it, because they're saying that avoidance, when you keep avoiding, not only does it stop your spiritual growth, some people avoid so much that it actually kind of wrecks their life. That life starts getting so hard that they start to have financial problems, or like some homeless people. Homeless people she's saying, are a prime example, and she's not trying to be mean, but they have avoided so many things in their life that they're homeless. And often the avoidance is they go and they want to do drugs or alcohol to avoid what they're feeling. That they had trauma in their childhood that they couldn't face, and so they go drink or do drugs to avoid. So she uses that extreme example because it's true, and because she wants you to get that if you continue to keep avoiding something, that life gets harder. Now, the good part is if you notice life is getting harder, you can go, what have I been avoiding that I need to stop? And so she wants you to get that. That's a sign that life is getting harder. Like, it just seems like sometimes people get in a place where it seems like one bad thing happens after another. And it's not just randomly happening, she's saying. It's because you have a habit of avoidance. And if you address things immediately, then life begins to go back into flow. And that flow is what makes you flourish. The flow of the divine, the flow of dealing with things, the flow of letting what's in your true heart's desires come forth. So she's saying here too that avoidance, when you avoid what you need to address, that's often why you don't know what the truth is in your heart's desires. Like, I meet a lot of people who say, I don't know what my heart's desires are, but I know I'm not happy. Is that you? Or have you had that at points? Like you know that, gee, I'm just not happy, but I don't know what will make me happy. And she said that the reason that happens is you've avoided so long that you've become out of touch with knowing what's in your heart. She's saying, don't worry, you're not stuck with that. But it's about, at this moment, are you willing to go, wait a minute, I really want this to change. And I'm going to stop avoiding and start acknowledging. Okay? Now, acknowledging doesn't mean you have to go and do a 180 about what you're doing and address every person that's confrontational. It means, oh, I have this habit of avoiding when there's confrontation. I'd like to change that. What's the first step that I can take? Because that's what she's talking about. She says today is really just about the first step. It's not about trying to resolve this all in just this one time that we're spending here in this spirit and art time and then having this sacred space. But it's about taking that moment to check in. So she actually wants me to lead you in a moment of quiet time where you're going to check in with yourself, okay? And she's going to have you focus on your breath to get you in that moment, okay? And I don't know what else she's going to tell me to do, but we'll see what it is, okay? So let's just take that moment now and close your eyes and breathe through your nose into your belly, where the belly rises with the inhalation and falls with the exhalation. And continuing to breathe in and out. Take that next deep belly breath, drawing in the energy of focus. And on the exhalation, let go of any distractions, any business of the day. And continuing to breathe in and out on that next deep belly inhalation, drawing the energy of Mother Mary. And exhale, allowing Mother Mary's energy to expand into every fiber of your being. And as you continue to breathe in and out, allowing Mother Mary's energy to bless the cells and atoms in your body, mind, and soul, just ask for an awakening of knowing what you've been avoiding, and it's time to change. And whatever that thing is that you've been avoiding, and it's time to change, she's asking you to offer it up to the healing hands. Even though it's not a completed portal, then know that the healing hands are here on the spiritual plane, sending healing energy to you through the ethers. And the healing energy to know that this change is possible, that you become aware of when you're avoiding, and to give yourself compassion and self-love. And know that you only do it because it was a coping mechanism when you were young. And to acknowledge that you don't have to do that anymore as an adult. That you can step into your empowered self by acknowledging in the present moment what needs to be addressed. And just say thank you, thank you, thank you to the healing hands for the healing energy. And thank you, thank you, thank you to Mother Mary for awakening your ability to be aware when you avoid. So they're guiding me to also, if anybody's looking to get more support around this, looking for a spiritual mentor or coach to help you through this, I do programs. You can do a connection call with me to see if we're a fit. You just need to go to deepaloo.com/gift. I'll put that up there so you can get it if you'd like. And she's asking you, if you're willing, if you have a question about anything about what came to you when we did that little meditation blessing, to feel free to put it into the comments. And I'll ask Mother Mary. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't find this thing, what it is. So here's at thedeepblue.com/gift. But she's asking you if you have a question to feel free to put it in there. And other than that, she's telling me right now to go ahead and start painting, and I'm sure the healing hands will come through with more, because that's what usually happens is I start off with a message and then I kind of go into some painting, and we're going to see what comes from there, okay? So if anybody has a question, go ahead and put it in. Let's see, we'll see what Mother Mary has to tell you, and we're going to work on these healing hands. These healing hands came to me in meditation, and they actually come in different forms several times. And no questions, okay. But I really felt like it was time to do it. And one of the reasons why they wanted me to share this is because part of the healing that's involved in being willing to stop avoiding, to release the habit of avoidance, is about the willingness to forgive yourself and to allow yourself to make what we would call a mistake. Okay, so one of the things about these healing hands is I started doing them. I had sketched out the hands parts and just rudimentary. I didn't do any good drawing, just put little lines. And when I did it, I noticed, oh, this is kind of up too high. I mean, there's going to be some folds in there I'm going to do, but it's not really the way that you would normally see some sleeves. And so it's about, I'm going to be doing some, that's not what I need, some time to correct something. And so she really wanted me to be showing this, because one of the things that I've had a challenge with, and maybe you do too, I don't know, is, painting and showing when I do something that I feel like is a mistake. Now, often, like I've shared before, is something that seems like a mistake often is not a mistake when you're creating these spirit guide portals, because it often enhances and adds to the drawing, the painting. So but I probably won't be able to correct it today, but it is something I'm going to work on. So there's going to be this level of correcting some things that we're going to hold, actually add to this vision of the healing hands. So I invite any of you, if any of you are artists, creatives, to get what you're working with too. Bring it into the sacred space, because this is about the sacred space of holding it while you create. I always like it when there's a brand new, I'm starting a brand new spirit guide portal, because it's it's fun to be able to put down a lot more paint. And when you get to the place where you're doing small details, you put small amounts of paint on, and it is what gives life to the portal. But it also has, there's all these different stages, and it's that way in life. There's things in life that you just love, and then there's things in life that you don't. And it's about how do you embrace what you're not loving, because everything in life, whether we like it or not, is adding to our life. It's actually adding to make it better, even when we're not liking it. So they are wanting me to ask you, do you have something like that you feel like you don't like it, you don't see how it's adding to your life? And often they're saying, this is what the healing hands are saying. They're saying most people avoid what they don't like. And they're asking you to ask yourself, are you one of those? Are you avoiding things because you don't like it? And then that's actually making your life hard. So they're giving me this example of often people avoid, like if they aren't having enough abundance of money come in, they avoid paying their bills, right? In fact, I've heard stories of, I certainly am not one of these people, but that people who let their bills just collect. Obviously, you might not get them in the mail anymore, but when it used to come in the mail, people would let them collect and just not even open them. Now, yours might be coming to your email, but you might not be addressing it and paying them. So they're saying that, that's like an example. If you avoid looking at your money and your bills because it makes you uncomfortable that you don't have enough to pay them, what happens is that makes that worse, right? It makes it worse because then people start sending you past due notices and all that starts happening. So, but if you address it and you deal with it, it actually you can solve the problem. So now they're using that around money, but they're saying that if you have even a person where you've had some words, something happened that hurt your feelings, and you avoid talking to them about it. And if it's a friend, what happens? The friendship either goes away or you don't feel as close, especially if it's your spouse. Let's say it's someone you're married to, that if you do that, you ignore and you just keep saying, it's okay, even though it's really not, because something hurt your feelings and you don't address it with that person, it grows and festers into something even bigger. So that they're saying that that's another example. And that, they're telling me, and I did not know this, they're telling that when you avoid talking to people because you're afraid of confrontation, it's because you actually have a belief that you are unworthy and that they'll abandon you if you make things too difficult for them. They're not going to want to be your friend if something becomes hard. Hopefully that makes sense. So they're telling me that if you want things to get better in your life, you have to be willing to heal. And that's why Mother Mary was saying how healing matters. Your healing matters. She wants you to understand how important your healing is. It's not any area of your life, she's saying, that you have not been happy with. It's because there's something that you haven't been willing to address, that you've been avoiding, that you need to heal, and then it will begin to get better. So she's really, if you weren't able to do it here, she's inviting you to listen to the little section. It was short, but you can listen to it more than once, of reconnecting with your inner self so you can start to get connected with what are you avoiding that you need to stop avoiding. One of the biggest reasons why I like oil paints as a medium, I talked about it in the last live, is, oh, I don't think I mentioned this actually in the last live, maybe not, is the fact you can actually mix paint on the canvas. I do this all the time where I'll put a little different things on there and just mix it together just as I am now. It's one of my favorite things I like to work with. Wet paint on the canvas. Curious to know if anybody ever have any aspirations for themselves to paint or create their own spirit guides. I am. One of the things when I don't draw the whole thing in, because with the Archangel Gabriel you guys saw, if you were here then, I drew everything in before with pencil and then painted it. This one I did not. I actually only drew in the hands and like put out little lines of here's where the arms are going to go, but they weren't completed or done anywhere correctly. So that's why you see me adding stuff, because I'm putting it on. And one of the things you'll see me is, moving away from the painting to make sure that it looks like the right way when you step away from it. So when I don't actually draw it on, I keep kind of drawing and correcting things on there. So that's why I'm going to be fixing this side probably in the next time I paint, which will be next week, just to make it look a little different, because it's not really the way I want it to look. And sometimes you have to kind of just be with the item drawing before you actually correct something. Because you never know what's going to happen. Curious if anybody like connects with their spirit guides on a regular basis, or do you just kind of tune in here because you like hearing what I tell you my spirit guides want to share with you? Nobody has anything with the spirit guides they ever do? Unless I'm going to paint that down, Laura. Oops. One of my little mistakes. I just bought my little thing on there. Got a little paint on here. I didn't mean to. See if I can get that off. There it is. Oh, well, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I'd love it to help you have that deeper connection. And yeah, this is my spirit guides and guided me to do this spirit in our time of creating it. You know, it was something that was going outside my comfort zone because I always painted. Well, I mean, I painted in an art studio with other artists, but as far as doing art on my YouTube channel, I did not paint anything on my YouTube channel with anybody seeing it. And when I did it in the art studio, they were other kind of art students and stuff who, we were all learning and experimenting. I didn't have actual lessons for a long time. I actually became a teacher kind of quick. But there, it was in this environment of it's okay to like not be good at something because we were all learning how to get better at what we were doing. So, yeah, this is all about how do you connect more with your guides and get that higher guidance. The spirit guides are here to help you get that higher guidance because they know that we have things that happen where maybe you get triggered or you fall into a habit that's not good, just like what we're talking about today, the avoidance habit, right? That you have to be willing to look at these different things from a different perspective. And the spirit guides want to give you higher guidance so that you can grow beyond where you're growing. Because, sometimes we get stuck in our growth. And the way you get unstuck is to get a different perspective. If you keep the same perspective, the same consciousness that you've been having, it's really hard to make that change. Thank you, Lil. I've been so grateful. The spirit guides were not something that I grew up with or anything. It was something that happened when I really just started bringing together creativity and my spiritual practices. It awakened my spiritual gifts, and the visions started coming with my spirit guides. And I realized I probably need to change the way I did this still, but we're going to go with what we're doing right now. Yeah, looks awkward. But that's the thing, is you do it and you adjust. You do it and you adjust when you don't draw it in first. And that's why I like oil paints, because without, I think I'm going to bring this down further, but we're going to wait till I bring it. Yeah. So one of the things that they're saying to me right now is that they're asking you if you're willing to commit to focusing on your healing and working with the guides so that you can transform. They're using that word transform. Transform the areas of your life that you're dissatisfied with. I know we talk a lot about that, but that's all it is about growing spiritually, is really being willing to address what's not working and believe that there's a possibility that it can be different. Archangel Gabriel and the flying horse were all about that. Like, how can you get into the energy of possibility? So when they're telling me now, when you're in avoidance, it's because you don't think it's possible to make it better, to make it different. So they're wanting you to get in that energy of it can be better. It can be better. It can be different. One of the things, the habits I have when I paint, that, the thing I always remind myself is often like when I'll paint like fabric, all I do is like a semi-straight line. Like obviously nothing's perfectly straight when I paint it, when I draw a line or something, unless you use a ruler. But like here, I do it like a straight line. And life is not straight lines. Think about it, right? I tell myself that. They're wanting me to share that with you for some reason. Whenever I do things and I create it and I'm like, I don't know why I drew that totally straight line. The only thing that is a straight line out in nature is man-made. Think about it. If you look at the streams, the ocean, like the beach, when you look at a beach, you don't see a straight line on a beach, right? It's curved. And so I like, in order to bring life to something, you want it to have motion, curves, not, obviously on a blank canvas, on a painting canvas, you can't make it move like you would, like when my visions come to me, the vision is not static, it's moving. And the spirit guide is moving, and I see things, and then I have to decide, how do I want to create this into a portal, that's going to carry the energy and the vibration that they want to bring to the world. Because this is all about, everything is consciousness, everything is energy. And it's like, how do we change that energy to higher energy, to higher consciousness? So it's about how do we do that, and our willingness to go, you know what, I'm the creator of my reality, and I want to create a different reality. I'm like, this has been what I feel like life is happening to me, rather than, oh, thanks, Reverend Francis, that you love this. I appreciate it. Reverend Francis is actually my wife. She'll pop on here and there just if she's free. She probably had a break from an appointment or something. But so I'm realizing that the way I have the arm angled, I'm going to have to bring this down some more. Yeah. The thing about spirit, though, is it's not always logical. I'm going to have to get off here, though, because I have a 5 o'clock and I need to clean up my brushes. I'm going to change this a little bit. But It's not totally corrected in the way the arm is, but it's improving. Ah, very true. She put painting is just how we create our reality. And it's true. You know, we're painting our own picture of our life every moment in our thoughts, in our actions, in our words. You know, and I don't think most of us, I know I don't always live this consciously. I make an effort to, but there are days where I, you know, haven't done a good job with it, and I go, oh, well, I'm not, what am I creating what I want in the world by what I'm thinking, by what I'm saying, by what I'm doing? So every moment we're painting our lives. Thank you for sharing that, because it's so true. We're painting our lives, creating a life through what we paint. And how we paint our lives is through our thoughts, our words, our imagination, you know, all that. That's how we're creating. I just love that. And it's one of the things that I want to start helping people with, is help you create the life you really want. Not just what you think you can have, because most people feel like life is happening to them. And I want you to step into, you're this powerful being, powerful beyond measure, and great things are possible for you. So yeah, we're all painting our lives, moment by moment. In fact, one of the things I'm going to be doing for myself, it's probably not something I'll show in here, paint on here, but I'm working on, I drew it on a piece of paper, like kind of what I wanted to create for my life, and on a piece of paper. And I'm like, I think I want to do this on a canvas so I can look at it every day. So anyway, I'm going to get myself going. If anyone wants to put up a last quick question, feel free to. Otherwise, I'm going to be signing off here in the next few minutes. I'm going to back up and look at my canvas just to get a better view of it. But any last questions before we go? We are going to be on next week. Same time, working on these healing hands. And I don't know what topic we'll be talking about, but whatever the spirit guides are guiding me to share with you, I'll share with you. If you guys have a topic that you'd like the spirit guides to share on, put it in the comments, because I mean, I obviously have to ask them if that's what they want to talk about. But if you give me a specific thing, like you'd like to learn more about this or that, I'll ask them. And then if they say yes, it'll be something that would be done on the next live. You know, so yeah, if you want to put that in before we sign off here, I'm going to give you a few minutes and I'll start. I don't usually clean my paint brushes while I'm talking on here, but I am going to. That way, in case you want to put something up there, you got a few minutes to do it. One of the things, if you're into oil paints, I clean my oil paints with linseed oil, because I really like to. One of the things a lot of people don't want to use oil paints is they say, oh, it's toxic. And I use Gamblin color paints because they're not toxic. Any tips how to connect with the spirit guides? Well, okay, we'll see what they have to say about that. I do have a video, Lil, that's a pre-recorded one on my channel. That was like, it was a while ago, but it was something like 5 tips or 5 steps to connecting, I think it was. You could go look and check that out if you don't want to wait till next week, but I will take a note of that one, and about tips to connecting with the spirit guides, and see whoever volunteers, because that's how I work with my mentoring clients, is each time I meet with them, because it's a program where we meet more than once a month, depending on what the person wants to manifest in their life. But is I ask which spirit guide wants to show up. So a different spirit guide comes. So that's kind of what I've started to do now, is since I did Archangel Gabriel. Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I can't remember the name. I'd have to go back and look for it. But there is one where I give some little things. But I'm going to actually see if they're willing to talk about that for next week. So tune in. Most likely they'll say yes on that. I never know till I check in, but and who wants to volunteer. But basically what I'm doing right now since I finished Archangel Gabriel, except for oiling it out and varnishing the portal, is I am asking, like, who wants to volunteer? So Our Lady of Guadalupe and the Mother Marys, they were all just saying, oh, we'll all be here today, all the different versions of Mother Mary, and just be open to them all. So I saw how a little bit of everything, like Mother of Love was talking about self-love, and, like little bits of them that were coming in, sharing what they wanted to say. So yeah, we'll look into tips on connecting with spirit guides. The reason why I keep looking at that, Lil, is because when I stopped streaming, because I stream through a service called StreamYard, it doesn't save the comments. So I have to actually remember what the comments are, because it doesn't. I wish it would, but it doesn't. So once I sign off, the comments are gone forever. What I was thinking about doing there is, I noticed they have a little like button you can push it will show the comments on stage. I don't know if it would work though now if I do it later, if it's only in the future. I'm just curious. I'm playing with this. So are they all on there, or just what's left? Huh. So I might do it that way from now on, just so that way, I think if I put it on there like that, I would see them in the future. But I don't know that. This is all an experiment. It's, when you do things live, you try things out. So, but yeah, thanks for sharing that, Lil. I really appreciate that. So anyway, I got sidetracked. I use oil paints, Gamelin color paints, because, and I think their URL is gamelincolors.com. I don't get anything for if you guys go there, but I love their paints because they're the least toxic oil paints. The way they make it, they make them so that they're not toxic, and on the ones that are, they make it in a way that's least toxic. And then they also have ways of, like, this thing called Gamsol that they make, so it's not like turpentine that a lot of people use that is very toxic. And they also talk about other ways that you can clean things. And I have like a medium that I use that creates fat into the paint when you need to have more fat for the next layers. That is non-toxic. So they have all these different ways that you can do things so you're not getting toxic stuff into your body. Because there's a lot of different people. People say, oh, acrylics are less toxic, but I've heard acrylics are toxic in different ways. And so you have to pick what works for you. I like oils because they don't dry so quickly, and I like that because I like to mix color paints on the canvas. Like, I couldn't done what I did today with all these colors without it being where it would stay wet for a while. Acrylics dry faster. So anyway, so I use this linseed oil to clean the paints, and linseed oil is not toxic. And paint brushes, I should say, clean the paints. Clean the paint brushes to get the paint out, so that, and then I have soap that I use to clean the brushes more, but I get all the major paint out with the linseed oil. And that way I'm not having exposed to like turpentine or anything that's toxic. It's part of the reason why I wear gloves. Is when I first started to learn to paint, my teacher used turpentine to get the oil paints off, and it started to bother my hands. Because it's toxic, and I'm highly sensitive. I'm an empath. If any of you are highly sensitive, that's why I share these little tips, because if you're highly sensitive, I don't want you having problems the way I had. I want you to be able to avoid them. So plus toxicity, is not good for your body or your mind or any part of you. So it's always good to be able to, the less toxins we put into our body, the better. And there's so much outside of our control that we can't stop, like the pollution in the air and things like that. So, but I can, control the way I clean my paintbrushes, and I can control the food that I eat. I get to decide all that. Like, I eat mostly organic, because I already know there's toxins in the air and things like that that I can't control. So, but I'm highly sensitive. If any of you are highly sensitive, you look at those things and you go, okay, let me change this so I can have a healthy life. Because one of my things I always talk about is, and it was so funny because I talked about it. The first time I ever talked about it was way back when I was around 30, and I was bike riding and stuff, and people would talk about, because we had some riders that were much older that were like 70 and things like that, and they would talk about aging and this and that and possibility of getting sick. And I said, that's not my plan. My plan is happy, healthy, dead. And people are like, what? They go, you want to die? I said, yeah. I go, not now, but I'm talking about I want to do what I love. I want to be happy, healthy, do what I love till the time, that's for me to die. So when I die, if I die, like I love riding my bike, if I die when I'm riding my bike, that's fine with me because I'm just doing something I love and is happy, healthy, dead. So, so that's why I do things, because I want to create my life so that I can be healthy and enjoy the things I love doing. So I'm not trying to get you to have happy, healthy, dead, but sometimes when I say that to people, some people have said, you know what, I'm going to start having that intention in my life because we all know we're going to die. This body's going to die sometime. We just don't know when, right? And don't you want to be happy and healthy up till the time it's time for you to leave your body? I know I do. So I'm off on a tangent. I don't know why I'm sure, but I am. So I guess Mother Mary wanted me to share some of that because it just started coming out. So it's the thing is that you never know how you're going to bless somebody. Maybe somebody needed to hear that because they were struggling with believing they can be healthy. And that's the thing is there's all kinds of miraculous stories of healing that have happened when people haven't been healthy, when they actually change their consciousness and start to envision themselves as healed. So, and that's the thing with the healing hands is they want you to believe whatever's going on with you, whether it be emotional or physical healing that you need, that it's about your energy and your consciousness, and that you can receive certain energy that helps heal you, and you can initiate your own energy that can help heal you. To not think that you're stuck with being unhealthy if you are now, that it's possible. So hopefully that helps somebody. I know I went off and on for a while. But I am going to be signing off here in a minute. Any last minute things, go ahead and put it up. I got my paintbrushes clean before we actually got off. But I got to get myself going because I got an appointment in about 20 minutes that I have to run to. So thank you so much. Oh, forgot, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up. It all helps. Turn on your notifications because it all helps my channel. And also, if anybody, I also have a PayPal donation button up on in my description. If anybody feels guided to do that, I thank you so much because it all helps support me. And if not, don't worry about it. It's all about me wanting to be a blessing and help you in any way that I can while I do this YouTube. So, oh, good. I'm so glad I was helpful to you, Lil. All right, all spiritual souls. I'm going to call you all creative mystics because if you're here, you have some interest in creativity and mysticism. And I will see you next Thursday. All right, blessings.